I said unto you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me.
And they what?
They follow me.
And they follow me. Who are you following? Who are you following Christ, or are you following the man that's taking you away from Christ? Christ kept the Feast of Dedication.
Yes, he did.
He said, he told these people, these are Jews, you are not my sheep. Now, if they had studied the scriptures, they would have knew who he was.
Right.
Come on, prophet.
Verse 28, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand.
When you come into this truth, brothers and sisters, guess what? You're grounded and rooted in the truth. Ain't nothing's going to sway you. You're not going to be tossed to and fro everywhere in the doctrine. You know the truth. Christ said you should know the truth, and his truth shall set you free. Make you free. Right? So, there it is. He is setting it out. He's laying it straight up to them, telling them straight up in their face. You are not of my sheep. Come on, prophet.
My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand.
Come on.
I and my Father are one.
Now, they wanted to hurt him when he said that. I am my what?
I and my Father are one.
I and my Father are one. We are one in the same purpose. We're not the same people because I am different from the Father. I'm the Son. That's the Father. That's two separate individuals. But we're together on this mission. That's right. Christ came on a mission to save the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Working on behalf of what his Father wanted him to do. I and my Father are one. We need to be one with the Father. What is the will of the Father? So I wanted to highlight that was Christ attending the Feast of Dedication. And most importantly, he was letting them know, y'all should have knew I'm the Messiah. Follow me. There's reference to the Feast of Dedication. Brothers, you can write that down. We was in John chapter 10. We saw Christ attend the Feast of Dedication. And you get the Apocrypha. You can look this up as well. And this is where the Apocrypha starts at. You go to the first book of Maccabees, chapter 4. Read that chapter. And you can go into second Maccabees.
Which one? Oh, you just saying for
I'm just saying it. Yeah, you can go to second Maccabees, chapter 10. Or read the whole chapter. They say 1 to 8, but read the whole chapter.
You know, I remember the reference in John, because that's one of my favorite scriptures, my sheep hear my voice. And it just stood out even more so, Elder, as you bring it out this morning or this afternoon, where he says, I know them. So not only do they hear my voice, I know them. And so that kind of reminds you of when he says, I never knew you to some people. And so, I mean, it's worth the investigation, because here, thereafter, once he said that in the 31st verse in John chapter 10, at the 31st verse, it says, then the Jews, once he says, I and my Father are one, then the Jews took up stones again to stone him. But again, keeping in mind, like you said, the historical reference and account about the Apocrypha, and that being the relationship, that's why it was pulled out. So that you wouldn't understand how the history continued to progress and the reason for the dedication, because it was being defiled by those people at that time, and how things were taken and rolled out because of our disobedience, of course, throughout the history and times. But just like life, even they talk about, oh, we're mixed and mingled. The same thing has happened throughout the generations, but it's in order for you to have a full understanding, you have to know the historical background.
Exactly. You got to know who you are, where you come from, who you are, and then where you're going. Look, the word of the Most High explains that to us. Look, the Maccabees was what, 300 some years before Christ? Before Christ was even born?
Right.
And he was celebrating it. He went to the Feast of Dedication. Why did he go to the Feast of Dedication?
That's true.
It is in the Apocrypha. It's in the Apocrypha. His forefathers, according to bloodline, died.
Trying to uphold the holiness of the temple.
Being obedient to the Father.
Dedicated.
They was being dedicated, right?
And specifically willing to give their lives
It's a worthy cause to give your life for the Most High.
Why shouldn't he be there?
Look. Christ said, "Look, be not afraid of him that can destroy what
your body,
but what, prophet?
But the one who could destroy your soul,
your body and soul,
your
right?
Your body and soul, yeah.
Wow. So that's who we give praise to. That's who we give our allegiance to. That's who we worship, the Most High, through His Son Christ, Yeshua.
And we just really need to be reminded of that, because
the keeper of my soul. You hear?
Right. We always need to be reminded of that, because every day we're being distracted so severely in this world. And it's our work. It's what we need to do, is to make sure that we're honoring the Most High.
Look, I just want to touch on that, brothers and sisters. That is where we are today. We're in the last day of the feast today. We will be gathered together with brothers and sisters. All praise due to the Most High. Look, let's get ready to go into Zebulun. Prophets, what's the title again?
The fathers of the nations, Zebulun, 6 born.
6 born. Jacob had 12 sons. Zebulun was the 6th born. Zebulun was the father of a nation of people. Judah was the father of a nation of people. Benjamin was the father of a nation of people. There are 12 patriarchs. And we're going into Zebulun right now. So let's go to where it began. Let's go into Genesis chapter 29. Let's go to Genesis chapter 29. All praise. Genesis chapter 29. And we're going to go, before we read the 6th, we're going to read the 5th son. We do this every time before we finishing up here. All right, prophets.
Where would you like me to go?
Okay, so before, let's see. No, go to Genesis chapter 30.
Okay. All right.
And read verse 18 all the way up to verse 21.
Okay. Genesis chapter 30, beginning at verse 18. And Leah said, the Most High hath given me my hire.
My hire.
Because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar.
Now, we talked about Issachar, all right, on the last Sabbath or so. We talked about Issachar. Come on, prophet.
And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob the 6th son.
The 6th son, okay.
And Leah said, the Most High has endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons, and she called his name Zebulun.
Zebulun. This is the 6th son between Jacob and Leah. Now, every son had a prophecy attached to them. We're going to read that in a minute. Now, read the next verse, brother.
And afterwards she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah.
What history we have on the females on Dinah? Any history?
What do you mean?
What?
Oh, that yeah, isn't she the sister that was taken captive, and they violated her?
Exactly.
And the sons came against them.
Exactly. The brothers were rallied up and say, you know what? This is our sister. We will hurt you.
Yeah.
Men, we're called to protect our sisters. Always have been. And especially from the house of Israel.
I can't remember what the nation of the people. What were the nation of the people? Who were they?
They were enemies. Were they Canaanites? Somebody. One of the patriots talked about who they were. Okay. But yeah, Judah and Benjamin fought hard for her. It was a rally. It was that was their sister. Okay. All right. So look, let's go into the prophecy on Zebulun. Now, where's that at, prophet? We're in Genesis what? 49? All right, let's hit it. Let's go to Genesis 49. Let's see what his father said about Zebulun. What the father said about Zebulun, okay? Okay, so you know what? Let's start in verse 13. Now, this is Genesis 49, verse 13.
Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea.
Zebulun this nation of people shall dwell at the haven of the sea. Now, this is a future prophecy on Zebulun's seed, right? They're going to dwell by what, prophets?
Dwell at the haven of the sea.
Now, what does haven mean? You got
pretty
a dictionary
much at the Gulf. I mean, you know, it's at the sea. If they say the sea, it sounds like the bay or the banks of the sea. Haven. You look it up.
We're gonna get the understanding of the word haven. What does haven mean?
A place of safety or refuge.
A place of safety or refuge. Okay.
An inlet providing shelter for ships or boats.
Okay. All right. So there's a geographical place on the planet for ships, right? To dwell.
Providing shelter for them.
Prophets, keep reading here.
You back into them.
Yeah, read verse 13 again.
All right. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon.
And his border should be unto Zidon. Now, Zidon is in Jerusalem, Israel.
Sidon. It's really Sidon because the Z is normally, we kind of pronounce it with the S.
Exactly, right? His border. Now, prophets, Joshua divided the land of Canaan to the 12 tribes. That was his job. He divided, this is your portion, this is your portion, this is your portion. Okay? And it is over to Canaan. That whole land over there, it belongs to the 12 tribes of Israel. There's foreigners in the land. The scriptures say there's a bastard dwelling in Ashdod. A fatherless child over there. All right? There's not God's people in that land. All right? That land belongs to us. And Christ said he's going to draw us back to him, and he's going to put us back in our land. That's property. That's future prophecy. But in the Apocrypha, something happened, right? We know that the 10 tribes were scattered from Jerusalem, right? There was a northern kingdom and a southern kingdom, right? Zidon is a future prophecy. We're going to dwell. They're going to dwell on the borders of Zidon. Zebulun is, right? But there's also a haven of ships. Let's go to the Apocrypha. Let's go to the Apocrypha and find out what happened to Zebulun. All praise due to the Most High. Go into your Apocrypha, the 2nd Esdras, and we're going to read it real quick. Because this has something to do with the dispersia. All right? The 12 tribes of Israel.
Oh, diaspora. The
diaspora. That's right, Prophet. That's right. We were scattered. And it's a lie when you say we don't know who they are today. Hey, characteristics tell us who the people are today. We know from Genesis 49, Zebulun will dwell by a haven of ships. Now, when I look at that, I'm like, what part of this country or where geographically on this planet is known to be a haven of ships? We're going to bring that out. Go to 2nd Esdras. Chapter 13, prophets, and you know it. Start reading at verse 40. Okay.
All right. 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes.
The 10 tribes. Okay. Come on.
Which are carried away prisoners out of their own land.
Out of whose land?
Out of their own land.
Out of their own land.
In the time of Hosea, the king, whom Salmasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
So the 10 tribes were taken out of Jerusalem over water by the king of Persia. Taken over, right? And it's taken over. They was taken away. They went over water. Come on, prophet.
Okay. So Persia and Assyria, they're the same. Oh, okay. But verse 41, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude.
Now, this came later on. We don't know how many years passed that the elders, the remaining elders of the captives, took a what? What did they take, prophet?
They took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
They're going to leave the multitude of the heathen because there's something in our spirit. We know what heathen practices are. We know. Our people never did things that the heathen was doing until it was influence on us. Our Father said, learn not the ways of the heathen.
Right.
All right, come on, prophet.